distinguished guests, dear friends, presidents, members of the parliament, all of you. First, I'm greatly honored by this award, and really that is something what is extremely important in my political life. And I'm really moved and obliged by everything what my good and old friend Jurek Kwasniewski said during last minutes. And please, because of this wonderful introduction speech or laudatio, my answer will be a little bit serious, a little bit not very serious, but I start with such remark. When last time I was in Washington and it was Atlantic Council ceremony to award main heroes of German unification, I listened to the speeches of Clinton about Bush, Gates about others, Brzezinski, etc. And then Professor Brzezinski was next to me on the table, and I said to him in Polish, what I jealous Americans, that you can speak with such respect about your predecessors, about your leaders, about your politicians, and it's not necessary to be died. It's possible to listen these nice words living. So I'm so glad to Jurek Kwasniewski that I had this chance, and that is very unique in our tradition. And even I remember such a quite funny situation. Exactly in the hall you have some specialists of Polish history. It was a funeral of Prime Minister Cyrankiewicz, and then in the group was those time Deputy Speaker of the Parliament, Mieczysław Rakowski, next Prime Minister, and I was as a very young member of communist government. And I don't know who had this funeral laudatio, but it was very boring, and Rakowski told me, but on my funeral you have to speak. Well, it was a surprise for me. I was young and I was not prepared, and after some seconds Rakowski said, but thesis I will prepare. I'm extremely happy man because, frankly speaking, Jurek, the theses are prepared. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and it was great. And I appreciate our friendship. I appreciate our collaboration and relations very long time. We met first time in the mid-70s, and you don't know about it, but I can inform you that during this Polish breakthrough 1980, during Solidarity, we were members of Socialist Union of Students, and we prepared the declaration. And the beginning of this declaration, the first sentence was, we just returned from the vacations totally changed. And then I didn't find very long time this declaration, and even maybe during my presidency, I found this document, and I was a little bit nervous. Maybe it's naive, it's not so good and clever. And I met Jurek Kwasniewski, and we discussed this document, and we are still very proud about our thinking, which wasn't revolutionary, but was quite clever, pragmatic in those times. I'm grateful to Jurek Kwasniewski because of his fantastic service for Poland, especially as ambassador to Washington. Then we were both under very high positions, and we worked for the future of our country. And I tell you, if you want to see the man who in each element of his life and life of the state, of our state, but a life of international community is fully engaged and responsible, Ambassador Jerzy Kwasniewski is one of them. Jurek, many thanks. Of course, I'm honored because this Freedom Award because the problem was not so easy, sometimes quite complicated, but that is not the time to speak about all details or elements. I tell you one thing, and that is a person very much connected with Wrocław, because in Wrocław you have archive of Ossolineum and you have archive of director, very long time director of Free Europe, Jan Nowak-Jeziorański. And I remember Jerzy Koźmiński was a participant, a witness of this meeting, is the middle of my presidency, and Jan Nowak-Jeziorański, who decided to move to Warsaw, invited me to the dinner. We were in 4 persons, Jerzy Koźmiński, Christopher Hill, Jan Nowak-Jeziorański and myself. Dinner was okay, atmosphere very good. And finally, old man, Jan Nowak-Jeziorański said to me, but I have something what I should tell you. I should apologize you. So what is the reason? And I didn't remember this reason. And he told me, you remember I was on the Walensa's side, the man who participated in debate, public debate in Polish TV. And in the last minutes of this debate, I said that if you will vote Kwaśniewski, you have no chances to be member of NATO, and you have no chances to be member of the European Union. And I'm so sorry, I was wrong, and your job was excellent. And frankly speaking, it was one of the most important compliment and recognition in my political life. The process was complicated, the process was not obvious from the very beginning, but we achieved these 2 goals. We are in NATO, we are in the European Union. And what I want to say, that among you here in this hall, I see a lot of heroes of this complicated process. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too dark to name, to mention your names, to say to everybody how I'm grateful to you. Jurek, I said, Prime Minister Buzek is next sitting here, but we have such maybe not very well-known heroes like Sergiusz Najar, President Dudkiewicz in his capacity as well, and more and more and more. Really, it was a common effort. It was a common job. And I'm extremely happy and satisfied in this time of Polish window of opportunity, of Polish possibility to reach these goals. We organize such common efforts. And of course, that is not very modest, what I will tell you now. These common efforts needed good leadership, and I understand that this award shows finally who was this best leader. Wrocław is the next short remark. I think Wrocław is an unbelievable place to organize this meeting and then to understand these complications of the past and of the future and how we can overcome this complicated past. Very few people in Europe and even in Poland knew or know that the war here in this city was even longer as the war in Europe. That after capitulation of Germany, the next days, next hours, Festung Breslau, Fortress Wrocław still was fighting. We lost here many thousands of people. Then we had a very special situation of this change of the borders and etc., etc. And Wrocław today, Breslau today, is a sign that in very short time, historically speaking, it's a very short time, it's 60, 70 years, it's possible to create modern city with understanding of tolerance, with understanding of common roots, of common culture, open for tourists, open for scientists, open for new era. And I think Wrocław has a good future which we created together and in which I believe very much, and I wish to, through Mr. President Dudkiewicz, to all citizens of Wrocław, successes, because I think in European history, in the history of Central Europe, Wrocław plays and has very special position. And finally, what to do in the future. My slogan in the election was, let's choose the future, and I'm still, that is the best what politician can propose to the society. I'm sure that we can be happy, we should be happy with our position in NATO, in European Union. I think we have more to do. I think we should develop our engagement in our environment, especially in our neighborhood. We should fight for further enlargement of both these structures. We should strengthen our cooperation with the United States, but we should understand that this word, the word of second decade of 21st century, is very complicated because of new order, new global order, because of lack of tolerance, because of xenophobia, because of terrorism, because of many, many dangers which we can face successfully only together. Dear friends, Atlantic Council has such idea to protect the most important values, and I'm glad to be part of this work. I'm very satisfied and honored to have this award again. I thank you, Jurek, for your wonderful words, and I wish Fred Kempe, and I wish Atlantic Council, and I wish all present guests of today's gathering successes, because we reached a lot, but our job is not finished. The world needs more freedom. Thank you.